Greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered, dispersed, but not destroyed. This is the truth, a part of Wakening Written Coalition Dallas. My name is Yemi'el Ben Yehuda. I want to welcome each and every one of you to our today's class. Y'all, please give me a second. I'm still trying to get ready. I messed around and overslept, so I'm getting out of the bed right now, and I'm about to get ready to teach this class. Um, we were in the midst of talking about Esdras. We're looking through we're looking through all of the apocryphal books, and so we decided that we were going to go ahead and start teaching and doing a reading of each apocryphal book. We've already covered the Esdras, well, first Esdras. Now we're working our way into second Esdras. Give me a second, Charles. I'm almost where I need to be. So when we start looking at the book of Esdras, we start seeing some details that are pulled out from our return from our captivity in what we would call Babylon or Persia. Two captivities when we were taken captive by the Persians, by the Babylonians, who were then defeated by the Persians. Then Darius and King Darius and also King Cyrus let us go and return back to Israel to reestablish the holy nation. And we've seen some of the things that we had to go through, fight through to establish the land, and some of the things that we faced in the process of reestablishing the kingdom of Israel back to its former glory. Um, Especially the rebuilding of the gates, the walls, and the rebuilding of the temple. We've also seen a portion of when our people returned back to the land and had to make some decisions concerning the relationship choices that they made while they were in captivity. Henceforth, putting away their Babylonian wives or their non-Hebrew wives. These things are very important because in this we begin to understand the importance of keeping God's word and the dedication of the people going through this process. Y'all, I took some time to think about it on last week or during this week. And do you know how hard it would have to be not only to leave a place that you probably, that you spent most of your life, because you got to realize they were in captivity for 70 years. Okay, I'm back. So you have to realize that they were in captivity for over 70 years. And for these 70 years, um, they took on wives, they fathered children, they um, took on pagan ways. I mean, it was a total immersion into the culture in which they had become captive to. This is important for you to know because people tend to people tend not to understand how rough this had to have been. And I'm not giving any credit or hold on. I'm not giving any credit or trying to take any away. But do you realize how hard it would have to be for you to wake up one morning and leave your family? You know, just after all that y'all have been through together, you know how people say after all that we've been through, but after everything, just to pack up, go back to your homeland, and then leave your family and children. Man, okay, you can find another woman. You know, you can do a lot of things. You know, and I'm just talking as a man right now. You know, yeah, man, I could find another wife. I could find me another woman. Yeah, but like that old song saying, ain't nothing better than the one I got. You know, and you have decided at this point that you are going to just send them away, divorce, no fault of theirs. You know, but you got to also understand that by making this sacrifice, it brings you closer to your sovereignty. It brings you closer to your father. It brings you closer in the walk. It brings you closer to becoming a holy nation, a royal priesthood, reestablishing yourself in the position of a true king. Um, man, I'm sorry, y'all. I know I'm I, I'm just a realist. Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat shalom.
man. Let me just bounce this off of you real quick, cause everybody sits up here and they try to give the politically correct answer, and they always want to make it seem like, oh no, it wouldn't have been no problem. But bruh, I mean, I started thinking about this week. You know, as I started reading in the second Esdras, but I couldn't pull myself away from that fact. Man, do you know how hard it is to leave your family if you really about your business? And I know a lot of people say, man, shoot, man, if it was me, it's gonna be either me or it's gonna be y'all. I'm gonna just throw my wife away. No, no, no. And it brings me to a better understanding of what some of the brothers who have entered into this truth face when their families don't quite agree. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And maybe you could, you know, share. I, Man, it ain't easy, bro. that thing wasn't easy. And I know a lot of us sit up here and say, man, shoot, should have just been gone. I ain't buying that. Something in my heart of hearts won't allow me to buy
that. Well, for one thing, now those of us just dropped. Well, you said we talked about being politically correct, but for those Hebrews or Negroes, as you call them, who just dropping seed everywhere and creating baby mamas without any covenant, without a covenant relationship, I could see that being a prevailing attitude,
right?
And it'd be an opportunity just to so-called start over, an attractive opportunity for someone that is not really invested emotionally, financially, economically, socially into raising a family. But remember now, we got to remember the context of what we were reading.
Okay.
He went to the leaders first. These were men. He went to the priests and the elders first.
Right.
Right. And these men, and we won't even limit to these men, but our the way we were brought up, the way we were raised, our forefathers were raised was we weren't. We placed a very high premium on family, on the covenant relationship. Listen, even if it was whether it was the covenant relationship of marriage, or whether it was a so-called a concubine or a servant or whatever, that was a very difficult, to put that person away was a very difficult prospect. Because we were raised to be honorable. We were raised to value family. We were raised to operate in honor. And again, the investment, emotional investment, the financial investment, the social investment, being known as a family unit. And to do away with that, even though they were so-called, the wives were so-called heathen or whatever, that wasn't an easy thing to do. Not to mention the fact that in the law, because it makes mention of this even in what we call the New Testament, you had to write a bill of divorcement. Listen, a bill is just like you had an electric bill. you got a water bill. Oh, no. You paying bill. When you wrote a bill of divorcement, there was still an economic responsibility, a financial responsibility to the person that you put away. Because remember, the women.
Sorry, I gotta stop you. Please repeat that, because a lot of these Negroes nowadays, they just putting them away.
And that's not the way we were raised. That's not the way of our Yah. That's not the way of our forefathers. I mean, yeah, put her away, but again, you had to write a bill of divorcement. There was in the breaking of that contract, or breach of that contract, there was a financial settlement. Because the women couldn't just go and get a job. They couldn't just go to AT&T or American Airlines or go work for the city and have a job. When a man put a woman away, that woman was destitute. There was really nothing for her to do.
But I know we supposed to be going into second Esdras, man, but y'all hit me so hard across the head with this.
Yeah, this was and when we read the context of the scripture, that's why it's so important for us to keep the thing in context and read the scripture and actively read, is that this caused a lot of sorrow and grief amongst our people.
Come on now.
They wasn't doing the Jody Watley talking about I'm looking for a new love and singing and celebrating. No.
Did you just say Jody Watley?
I did. I'm looking for a new love. And then, yeah. No, it wasn't that.
Man, you just crippled me with that one. Joseph, man. I flew past that whole part that you read last week. You were reading it, and as you whipped through it, I may have commented on it. But in my mind, I flew through it, right?
Yeah.
So Thursday, April went out of town, right? And I'm sleep. You just don't sleep the same when they ain't in the bed with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wake up about 3:00 in the morning, and I'm just sitting there, and it was like y'all was like, it ain't easy to put one away, is it? And I started thinking, I'm like, now mine just gone for the weekend, and I can't sleep good. I ain't ate right since she been gone.
Right.
I ain't ate right since she been gone. My biological clock is thrown off.
Yeah.
Even today, I didn't oversleep. I've been awake for hours, but her not being here and saying, "Baby, you got class now. Get on up out the bed and get ready for class." It hits different.
Yeah.
And when these guys said the whole nation, you got to understand the whole nation, all the men that had strange wives or heathen wives, let their wives go at the same time. I bet you there was Negroes moping, just walking in circles. You got me going in circles. I said, I'm not going to sit up here and try to play hard. I done been through 2 divorces. And I know how hard the first one wasn't hard at all, even though it hurt. But the time span wasn't long enough. It lingers and it hurts a little bit now. But the second one was hard as hell. I mean, the second one, it took everything out of me. I played hard. I tried to be, the big man about it and everything. But shoot, it cut like a knife. You know what I'm saying? It made me get all out of my character. I became a whole Babylon. I was self-sabotaging myself and everything. Can you just imagine how these brothers, because when you hurt, you don't care about hurting nobody.
Right.
Or hurting somebody else.
Right.
Man, you gonna make me somebody else when you keep on treating me the way you do.
We were reading last week, and there was great sorrow throughout Israel. And once they did it, though, the Most High had to make them celebrate.
You see?
But they weren't there. I mean, you could just imagine with the broken families. And like I used to tell my I used to tell my sons, and my wife and I used to tell our sons when they were young and they didn't listen. You go around and drop your seeds if you want to, but your check gonna be little.
Okay. Oh, trust me.
And so, it's all the way around. It's a bad deal. No matter what the circumstances is, when you the breaking of that covenant, the breakdown of the family, the breakdown of society, the breakdown of your health, of the health of both you and the mental health and the physical well-being of everybody involved.
That's a fact.
It's all the way around. It's bad. And one of the things that really kind of break my heart is to see that a lot of times divorce, if you're not wealthy and if you're not just rich and wealthy, the divorce leaves both parties in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we really don't stop to understand. Both parties wind up in poverty, impoverished.
Far worse off than they were when they started.
Far worse off. And then the shock, the ripple effect goes on down to your children.
Yeah, because then you deal with, man, having black kids, man. Then you deal with the attitude problems.
Yeah.
You left my mama. No, that's not that ain't quite how it worked. It looked like that, but that's not exactly what it. Yeah. That wasn't that dog. Yeah, man. I got worked up, man. I got to thinking about it. I really got sorrowful because I was like, man, when you look at it for what it's worth, you may think you just leaving somebody. I'm just putting my wife away. No, man, you losing your entire family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
that family, and this is what we discount. That family unit is a living being in itself.
Come on now.
I'm gonna repeat that because we really we don't think of it like that family unit is a living, breathing entity within itself. And so this is why in Malachi he talks about the Most High talked about he hated divorce because of the violence that it does to the family, that living, breathing entity called a family. It decapitates that family.
Dang.
I'm trying to make it plain, Yemi. You just decapitated a living being. And it's only by the grace of Yah that the thing don't bleed out and die completely.
Bruh, you done said a mouthful.
And so I got to roll with this. And this is why we look at the state of our society today. Especially with us, because we are the children of the covenant. We are the children of Yah. We are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are the ones who had the covenant. And so when we fall into this type of situation, it harms us. We get hurt worse. That's what Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 through 68 is talking about. All these things are going to befall you. And you can call yourself disproportionately affected if you want to, but no, it's not disproportionate. You're not disproportionately affected. We are suffering the consequences of breaking the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High,
Bruh.
And so our families are going divorce, all our health, our mental health. It harms us worse because we know better. We know better.
And what my daddy used to say, when you know better, you do better.
But
if you don't, it's hell. You got hell to pay.
And the whooping is worse when you know better.
Oh yeah, far
The
worse.
whooping is worse. The whooping is worse, and this is playing into as we get ready to read in Second Esdras.
Woo,
It ain't pretty. Just like
bruh.
it's not pretty right now. The state of our people, the state of our families, the state of our society, the state of our culture. I'm talking about within Israel. Just our health, I can't stress enough. Our health, our mental health, our families, our economics, our politics, our culture, everything is just depraved, and it's depressingly depraved. And it all comes back to our one of the key elements in that is the breakdown of the family unit, the desecration of the family unit.
Do you think it's all because of disobedience, or do you think I'm asking this question optimistically. How you say it?
Optimistically.
Yeah. Um, do you think there's any way we can bounce back from that? Because, like, I know what I know, but
Uh-huh.
like you say, some people know in part, other people know in part. It just seems so hard for people to understand that you ain't just playing with you.
Mm-hmm.
You playing with the livelihood of a kingdom, with the livelihood of a nation. This ain't all about you, and we tend to make it all about us,
Uh-huh.
all about ourselves. I don't know why I'm asking you these questions, Joseph. I don't know. I just, something in my heart just, when I started thinking about what the brothers had to do, something in my heart just hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just hurt for our people, to realize that we still going through this right now.
Yeah.
This ain't just yesterday. This ain't just then. We still battling with this old thing, and don't have no, really. I don't want to say don't have answers, but don't have the wherewithal on how to fix it.
Have you ever, just by way of illustration, ever had your parents, uh, when you're at home, your child as a child, you're struggling with something, and your parents are looking at you and they know you're struggling, but they just sit there and watch you,
Yeah,
and they let you struggle. And the struggle doesn't finish until what? We have to go,
to them.
have to come to them.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Remember the prodigal son. Remember the prodigal son. Father sat there at the house. He knew what the son was going. He knew what that boy. He knew that boy was in trouble. He knew people. That man was a wealthy man. The prodigal son, that father. He had people watching his boy. Believe, trust, and know. He had folks watching his boy. He knew when that boy was in that hog pen. I mean, we don't see that in the scripture, but I just let me. I believe the man knew that his son was working for the heathens, slopping hogs, but he didn't move from where he was. He waited on that. He waited on that son to come home. And this is what the Most High is doing for us. He again, I harp on this all the time. He waited for us to come home. We done went to civil rights. We done went to black power. We done went to assimilation. We done went to integration. We done went to attempted separation. We done tried everything.
Everything, but yeah,
We trying to vote. We trying to vote our way out. We trying to Black Wall Street our way out. We trying to trying to march our way out. We trying to boycott our way out. We trying to all this stuff we tried. None of it has worked.
Man, you just said a mouthful.
He's waiting for us. He's waiting for us as a people, as a whole, to come back to him. And we've said this before. Yah does not change. And Yah ain't pressed for time.
Ooh.
He will let generation after generation after generation after generation after generation wander in that wilderness, just like us coming out of Egypt. He let that whole generation pass away, die in the wilderness, waiting for a group of a group or a generation that was going on. Okay.
Boy, you just said a mouthful again.
We think we somebody. We really think we think too highly of ourselves. And we think all this we got next BS. No, you don't.
You ain't promised.
Now you might not have next, and the next may not have next. It's that generation that turns to Yah. And again, Yah is not pressed for time. He is eternal.
Well, you just said a mouth. You just said a whole mouthful, man. And then we don't take it serious.
Mm-mm.
We don't take this thing seriously. That we just don't take it serious enough. Oh, man, you just don't know. I wrestled with that thing so hard these last couple of days. And I don't want to blame my wife, but I do, This thing is greater than us.
That what you're facing right now, it's the tone of when we read second Esdras. That's the tone of the beginning part of what we're reading, chapter 1, chapter 2. Just sit in it. He's making us look at it, look at the mess, sit in the mess for a minute, and let us see what our situation, what it actually is.
Man, that's a lot, bro. Say that again. Look at your mess.
Look at your mess. Make you sit in the mess.
Wow. Wow.
That's what I see when as I read second Esdras.
Let's go ahead and get into second Esdras. Let me start with a prayer. Abba Yah, we thank you once again for this Shabbat. We thank you for all that you are doing and all that you will do. Open up our minds that we may be able to receive your word. Let it be touching into our hearts and into our minds, that we do those things that are pleasing in your sight. Abba, we thank you once again for all that you are doing, all that you've done. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Okay. All right, brother. I'm ready when you are. Second Esdras chapter 1.
Second book of Esdras, chapter 1. The second book of the prophet Esdras, the son of Sarias, the son of Azarias, the son of Helkias, the son of Sadamias, the son of Sadoc, the son of Akatob, the son of Achias, the son of Phinehas, the son of Heli, the son of Amarias, the son of Aziz, the son of Merimoth, the son of, and he spake unto the son of Boreth, the son of Abisai, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron of the tribe of Levi, which was captive in the land of the Medes in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of the Persians. And the word of Adonai came unto me, saying, Go thy way, and show my people their sinful deeds, and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children, because the sins of their fathers are increased in them. For they have forgotten me, and have offered unto strange gods. Am not I even he that brought them out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage? But they have provoked me unto wrath, and despised my counsels. Pull off then the hair of thy head, and cast all evil upon them. For they have not been obedient unto my law, but it is a rebellious people. How long shall I forbear them, into whom I have done so much good? Many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with his servants and all his power have I smitten down. All the nations have I destroyed before them, and in the east I have scattered the people of 2 provinces, even of Tyrus and Sidon, and have slain all their enemies. Speak thou therefore unto them, saying, Thus says Adonai, I led you through the sea, and in the beginning gave you a large and safe passage. I gave you Moses for a leader, and Aaron for a priest. I gave you light and a pillar of fire, and great wonders have I done among you. Yet ye have forgotten me, says Adonai. Thus says the Almighty Adonai, the quails were as a token to you. I gave you tents for your safeguard. Nevertheless, you murmured there, and triumphed not in my name for the destruction of your enemies. But ever to this day do ye yet murmur. Where are the benefits that I have done for you? When you were hungry and thirsty in the wilderness, did ye not cry unto me, saying, Why hast thou brought us into this wilderness to kill us? It had been better for us to have served the Egyptians than to die in this wilderness. Then had I pity upon your mournings, and gave you manna to eat. So you did eat angel's bread. When you were thirsty, did I not cleave the rock, and the waters flowed out to your field? For the heat I covered you with the leaves of the trees. I divided among you a fruitful land. I cast out the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Philistines before you. What shall I yet do more for you, says Adonai? Thus says the Almighty Adonai. When ye were in the wilderness in the river of the Amorites, being athirst and blaspheming my name, I gave you not fire for your blasphemies, but cast a tree in the water, and made the river sweet. What shall I do unto thee, O Jacob? Thou Judah, wouldst not obey me. I will turn me to other nations, and unto those will I give my name, that they may keep my statutes. Seeing ye have forsaken me, I will forsake you also. And when ye desire me to be gracious unto you, I will have no mercy upon you. Whensoever ye shall call upon me, I will not hear you, for ye have defiled your hands with blood. Your feet are swift to commit manslaughter. Ye have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, says Adonai. Thus says the Almighty Adonai. Have I not prayed you as a father his sons, as a mother her daughter, and a nurse her young babes, that ye would be my people, and I should be your Elohim? that ye would be my children, and I should be your father? I gathered you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. But now what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. When ye offer unto me, I will turn my face from you. For your solemn feast days, your new moons, and your circumcisions have I forsaken. I sent unto you my servants, the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hands, says Adonai. Thus says the Almighty Adonai, your house is desolate. I will cast you out as the wind doth stubble, and your children shall not be fruitful, for they have despised my commandment and done the thing that is evil before me.
Hold on. I got to bring this up. If you are listening to what he's reading, it's sounding like a parent sitting down, recapping all the things that I've done for you, and you are ungrateful. And you have been ungrateful. But what even makes this even more compelling is that it sounds even pathetic in what he's saying, especially the part where he talks about manslaughter and the blood, and where is that at? What verse is that?
Prophets. 26.
Okay. Read 26 again.
Whensoever ye shall call upon me, I will not hear you. For ye have defiled your hands with blood, and your feet are swift to commit manslaughter.
Whew.
Ye have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, said Adonai.
See, that right there is just, it sounds like a prophecy of what we're doing today. You know, we've embraced the killer instinct. I'm a killer. You ain't nothing but dangerous on your own people. You know, you, like my grandmama used to say, you ain't no earthly good. You know, it just seems like they don't get it. And we don't seem to understand the significance of us getting it. All right, go ahead, Doc.
I'm going to start, let's see, 32. Verse 35, I'm starting at 35. Your houses will I give to a people that shall come, which not having heard of me, yet shall believe me, to whom I show no signs.
Listen to this.
Yet they shall do that I have commanded them. They have seen no prophets, yet they shall call their sins to remembrance and acknowledge them. I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness, and though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the things that I say. And now, brother, behold what glory, and see the people that come from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Osias, Amos, and Micaias, Joel, Abdias, and Jonas, Nahum, and Habakkuk, Sophonias, Aggeus, Zachary, and Malachi, which is also called an angel or messenger of Adonai. That's chapter 1.
Let's sit on that for a second.
Okay.
You remember the I forgot, there's a scripture where he says, I'm going to make, where he's talking about making Israel jealous.
It's in Romans.
Yeah.
Says Romans chapter 10 verse 19 says, but I say, did Israel know? For first Moses said, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people, and by a foolish nation I will anger you. That's one of the scriptures. Then you have Romans 11:11 says, and I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation has come to the Gentiles for to provoke them to jealousy.
Dang. See, and he's had to use all these different tactics to even get us act right.
Mm-hmm.
And us being jealous, using jealousy as one of them.
Well, oh boy. We talk about we say a whole lot about the Jewish people and the Ashkenazis.
Mm-hmm.
But what they did exactly what was prophesied was going to happen. They picked up the book and they fashioned not just their religion, but they fashioned their lifestyle according to this book. And as a result, you can see, I mean, in a wicked way, you can see the result now.
Right.
Of how they took on the Khazars. They were Khazars. Yeah, that's true. They were Khazars. They were out of the Caucasus, but their king back in the antiquity, I guess you could say, their antiquity, not ours. But they said, well, we gonna look in this book and we're gonna be this. We're gonna do what's in this book. And so now we crying and moaning and complaining about them.
And they doing what we supposed to have been done.
They're doing what we're supposed to have been doing. They ain't seen no miracle. They're really and truly they don't believe. They really don't. He says they haven't seen the signs and wonders. They really, to tell you the truth, they really don't subscribe to all that stuff, the mysticism and you got certain segments of their society, but they don't subscribe to the miracles and no, they get that they in this book and they obey the book. And so we whine and crying because they make up maybe 1%, maybe half to 1% of, especially in America, they make to maybe 0.5%, maybe 1% of the population.
But they live in large.
They run it. So yeah, they do own and control the media outlets. They own and control the financial markets. They own and control a whole the criminal justice system. They own and control all this stuff, and we looking at them sideways. But the Father told us that's what I'm gonna do, because y'all done turned away from it. So I'm gonna let some people that's not even a people. I'm gonna let them pick it up and run with it.
Do you hear what you just said? Some people that ain't even a people.
They're not even a people. They're not a people. And we mad.
Hot.
And the Father tried to tell us. The Father tried to tell us, listen, you're going to turn away from this thing and you're going to be at the bottom. And the people who are foreigners and strangers, they're going to come into the land, they're going to rise up above you.
Boy.
They're going to rise higher and higher, and you're going to sink lower and lower. The Father tried to tell us. He tried to tell us. Then he told us again here. We're reading in Second Esdras. He said, y'all still ain't, you ain't got it. So I'm gonna take it from you and I'm gonna give it to people. They really don't. They almost kind of like the Sadducees of Yeshua's day. You know, all that spooky stuff, they don't subscribe to none of that stuff, but they follow the instructions that's written in this book.
And they try to follow it to the letter.
To the letter. But the fatal flaw with them is that they have rejected they rejected Hamashiach.
Hold on, I got this girl up here putting these dogs. Can you hear them dogs barking?
I can faint to hear them. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, keep going.
So we're living inside of the just like Yemi'el is saying, and even as Esdras is talking about here, we're living out the prophecy to the letter. The consequences. Some folks call it a curse. I like to call it consequences. The consequences of turning away from Yah. The consequences of wanting to be like the other nations. The consequences of wanting to be accepted by the other nations. The consequences of taking up these idols, these false idols, these strange gods. The consequences of that is we're stuck in the stuff that we're in. And we're watching the people who say they are and are not. We're watching them reparations. Them reparations we keep crying about.
Yep.
They get them every year. They've been getting billions of dollars from
our government
since they were established as a nation. America has been pouring resources, pouring wealth into those people. And they get it whether they right or they wrong. Right now, they are talking about their war against Hamas, but they're getting ready to do a land grab. They're in the midst of they are in the midst of performing genocide, pushing those people out of Palestine altogether. It's a naked land grab, and it's genocide.
Yep.
Because you can't say you're going after Hamas and you are killing women and children. Trying to push them out of Palestine into Egypt. Egypt don't want them, and you're trying to push them out into the sea, trying to get rid of them, trying to wipe them out. And if you look at the numbers in terms of the casualties, in terms of the casualties for Israel as opposed to the Palestinians, that ain't no war. That's not a war.
Right. It's a slaughter.
It's a slaughter.
Just like I tell us Negroes here, go up against this government if you want to. Go up against the government if you want to without Yah's permission, without Yah's glory or grace protecting you. And you will see exactly what will happen to you. The same things that are going on right now in Egypt. I mean, in Israel is going to happen to you. And if you can't get that through your head, then I don't know what else to tell you. Matter of fact, I don't know what to tell you at all. If you think you man enough, you big and bad enough now. Me and Joseph are firm believers in our strength. We done read Jubilees. We done read Tasha. We done saw how we could take out, cities with just the yell. But you ain't there yet. You ain't close. You ain't whooping no gun, bruh. I'm sorry. We got enough problems right now. If that was the case, Chicago wouldn't even be an issue.
I want to read something. Yemi, you were talking, and again, as I was sharing with you all, it was just amazing. As I was, years ago when I first came to the truth, and then got a hold of the Apocrypha. I told you all that I was reading the Apocrypha and having studied the Word having been a student of the Word. Looking at 40 years, you get a feel for the. I don't have the book memorized. I ain't gonna lie and say that. I don't know all the book, and I don't know all there is to know. But when you read my filter, and I'm looking at the Apocrypha, and I'm gonna give you a prime example. I want you all to listen to what Hamashiach is saying here in Matthew chapter 23, 36 through 38. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem and Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often, y'all listen to this, how often I would have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wing, and you would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. We just heard that. We just finished reading that. Didn't we, Yemi?
Yep.
In Esdras, we just finished reading that. And scores of generations later, Yeshua is saying the same thing to the people. Y'all rejected me. I came to provide you remedy, and I'm paraphrasing, but he came to provide us remedy, restitution, reparation, whatever through the kingdom, and we rejected him, talking about we have no king but Caesar. So he basically said, okay, well, the hell with y'all. You get what you get.
That's fact.
You're gonna get what you get. And
even when you read in Exodus 20, when he says that he's jealous, he's a jealous God. He don't mean that he's zealous. It means that he's zealous. And when you read that part where it says a mother brooding over her chicks, that's the example of Yah being zealous for us. Mm-hmm. He puts his arms around us. He broods for us just like a mother would her chicks. And we don't seem to see it. We don't seem to get it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Man, this has been tremendous. Next week, I want to close this up. We'll discuss chapter 1 a little bit more, and then we'll go into chapter 2. We'll do an overview of chapter 1, and then we'll start into chapter 2. But y'all, if these teachings has been a blessing to you, If it's been a blessing to you in any way, please, y'all, please, please, reach out to family, to friends, and let them know what's going on here, man. We're trying to wake up a nation. This ain't about me and Yosef, man. As much as y'all want to think it, as much as people want to think it is, this ain't about me and Yosef. Me and Yosef will figure it out. One way or another, we gonna figure it out. But it ain't about us. It's about doing what Yah told us to do, and to keep His laws, statutes, and commandments. And so we need to get our families together. What up in verse 35? Do you think it's pathetic to the? What does verse 35 say?
It says
Your
your
house
house,
will be given away to people that shall come, which have not had heard of me, yet shall believe me, to whom I have shown no signs, yet ye shall do that I command them. Yeah, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, I don't know any other way to explain that one. That's it in a nutshell. These outside people are doing more for y'all than we are. And, and He didn't show them. He didn't do all the things that He did for us, for them. I think He's saying it right there in a nutshell, brother.
Yeah. And we made mention of that when we talked about the history of the Ashkenazis, or histories of the Jewish people. But they were Khazars. They weren't atheists, but they were really didn't have a religion, so to speak. And they were, and what was happening, and this is all according to the book 13 Tribes by Kostler. I forget his first name. Arthur, is it Arthur Kostler?
Yes.
And he's an Ashkenazi himself. He's a Jew. He's a Jewish man. He's a Jewish scholar, a Jewish historian, and he did independent research. He wanted to know the origin of his people. So this is not some kind of anti-Semitic. This is not some European or some so-called Palestinian or so-called. No, this Kostler he's a Jew. And he wrote the 13th Tribe, and he wanted to do research. He did independent research on the origin of his people. And this is what he came up with. He says, our people were Khazars. They were in the steppes of Russia. They were in the Caucasus Mountains. That was their origin. And what was happening was they were the buffer between the East and the West. They were the buffers between the Arabs, the Ottoman Empire, and the Roman Empire. And the Ottoman Empire wanted the Khazars, and the Khazars could fight.
Yes.
Back in this time, they could fight, and so they were a buffer. And so what happened was the Ottoman Empire, or what we call the Arabs or the Muslims, were putting pressure on the Khazars to become Muslim. Mm-hmm. And Rome, the Byzantine Empire, or Eastern Rome, was putting pressure on the Khazars to become Christians. And so the king, the Khazarian king said, no, we're not doing either one of those. What we're going to do, we're going to split the difference. And we're going to just take up, since both of y'all love and respect Abraham, well, we're going to become, we're going to follow the Torah.
That's a fact.
That's when they picked up Torah, and that's what they built. That's what they built on. So they could maintain good relationship with the Christians. They could maintain a good relationship with the Arabs or the Ottoman Empire. They weren't the Arabs at that time. They were known as the Ottoman Empire, the Muslim world. And so they picked that book up just like we're reading here. It didn't make them no difference. This was a move that was political for them, so that they wouldn't have to fight on both fronts. And they didn't have to kowtow to either Christianity or to the Muslims. They took up, they split the difference, and they took up what we know as Judaism. But having said all that, they basically took Torah and they said we're gonna base our nation, our country, our society on this book.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're reading, and that that's what we're looking at. That's the prophetic nature of Second Ezra chapter 1, verse 35.
Hey.
So yes, you're absolutely right. Whoever that was in the make that comment, that question, you're absolutely right. It was prophetic, in that we're looking at them with the side eye, and we're talking about what they stole. Well, we left the keys in the car. We left the keys in the car. They hopped in the car and had the keys in it, and they drove off. They didn't break in. We left the keys in the car. We left the keys in the house, and we just walked out the house. They walked in.
What do you say? Who in the hell left the gate open? We did.
We did.
Did nobody open it but us?
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate everything that you've done for us. Thank you for your patience with me. Thank you for your being able to teach us about this book, man. You are definitely a blessing. I couldn't do it without you. I thank y'all for you each day. And man, we got to talk, because I got some funny stuff I need to tell you. I got some stuff I need to tell you, my brother.
Absolutely. Well, the feeling, the affection is mutual. The brotherhood is mutual, and the respect for your gift, brother. I can't. That's the beautiful thing. We don't. And I want people to know we don't compete with one another. We in concert. He's that bass clef. He the treble. He the bass clef. I'm the treble clef, and we play our part.
Hey, I'm Barry White. He Peebo Bryce. He James Ingram. And hey, he James Ingram. And when Malak be up here, he be Elder Boy. With his light skinned self, he be Elder Boy. We be trying to get y'all back to the garden. Not Let me stop before I get us all in trouble. He talked about secret garden up here on the Shabbat. Well, yeah. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you. I am going to actually, once we continue with these lessons, I'm actually trying to get you and I and Stefan and Elishai together, so we can actually discuss the feast days, because they right around the corner. They like
right around the corner.
Yeah, so we need to get ready and get this party started. So
let me make this note, Yemi, just to be exact. Now we did get through chapter 1, actually.
Yes.
You may want to go. I mean, if you want to go back and revisit some of those things, that's fine. I just wanted to just for note, that we did actually finish reading chapter 1.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, chapter 1 is done. Now we're just looking. I don't even want to say looking over. We're just we're just going over it.
Yeah, that's fine. You want to do a review next week?
Yeah, that's
review.
Yeah, that's it. We're doing a review.
Okay.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
We're gonna review what we looked over today, because I honestly feel like this lesson could go in several different ways, but I think when we start to see what it is that Yah has been doing, or what he's doing through this to our people. He trying to he giving us tough love.
Yeah.
And we don't see it as such, because you know how we get, love me like my wife tell me, love me less.
What one more note I want to make, Yemi, for those of you that are still here. Highlight. This is what I want you to do. Highlight 2nd Esdras 1:29 through okay, yeah. 1:33. Verses 29 through 33 of 2nd Esdras. And then somewhere in your Bible, if you don't mind writing in your Bible, if you got a study Bible and you don't mind making a note, or if you're making notes in a separate spiral, write down Matthew 23, 36 through 38. Because if you read 2nd Esdras chapter 1, 29 through 33, you've got the Father speaking to Esdras. And then in Matthew 23, 36 through 38, you've got Yeshua speaking to her, and they're saying the same thing. Almost the same way. And this is what Yeshua was saying. And he said, I can't speak nothing without my Father. Yeah, I'm speaking what he gave me to speak. I speak his words. And this is precisely what's happening. And the reason why I'm asking you to do that is because, again, we have been conditioned in Christianity to stay away from the Apocrypha because something's wrong with the Apocrypha. Well, what we're learning as we read through this, it's right, it's hand in hand.
There ain't nothing wrong with the Apocrypha. There's something wrong with us.
Something wrong with us. We've been conditioned to leave it alone. We've been conditioned to stay away from it. Oh no, that wasn't written in Hebrew, and that wasn't this and that wasn't that. But we're reading, we can read it and take it and overlay it on top of each other, and it's saying the tone is the same. The character of the book is the same. There's only one Yah. There's only one God, one Father. He's not telling us, the Apocrypha doesn't tell us to go worship something else. And if you're listening, if you read the book and if you read the 66 books that they've given us, and you're reading the Apocrypha, it sounds very similar.
Yeah. If it walk like a duck.
That's all I had, Jimmy.
All right, y'all. So once again, thank y'all for coming in and spending this Shabbat with us. And we will see you, y'all said the same, on next week. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom, family.
See you later.
All right, Yemi. God bless you, brother.
Bless you.